Welcome to the Omni Dental podcast. What if the most powerful tool you have to fight cavities isn't actually sitting next to your bathroom sink, but is like hiding right inside your refrigerator?
Right, yeah. That is such a wild concept to start with.
It really is, because usually when we talk about taking care of our teeth, the conversation is just entirely focused on, the bookends of our day.
Oh, exactly. The morning and the night.
Right, like you wake up, you brush, you get ready for bed, you brush, you floss. It's all about those 2 moments.
Yeah.
But today, we're really zeroing in on this massive gap in between.
Yeah, those 12 to 16 waking hours where your teeth are essentially just left to fend for themselves
Yeah.
against whatever you decide to eat and drink that day. I mean, it's a very long stretch of time to just kind of hope for the best,
Definitely.
especially considering how constantly our mouths are under siege during the day.
And the insights we're unpacking today for this deep dive come directly from Dr. Belis Poles and the team at Omni Dental. They're a highly established practice out of Arlington Heights, Illinois, and they really have this focus on comprehensive dental care and advanced aesthetic services.
Which is actually an interesting starting point for this topic, I think, because a practice like that, they serve a really vast community footprint.
Oh, for sure.
They aren't just seeing patients from Arlington Heights, they're drawing from this huge surrounding suburban corridor, places like Buffalo Grove and Palatine.
Mount Prospect.
Right, Mount Prospect.
Yeah, and they cover communities stretching out through Rolling Meadows, Schaumburg, Wheeling, all the way over to Des Plaines and Elk Grove Village.
Yeah, that's a massive area.
Yeah.
And when you're providing care to that large and diverse of a population, you really have to be equipped to handle everything from just, basic routine preventative care to really complex stuff like full arch dental implants and Invisalign.
Right, they've seen it all.
Exactly. You see every possible outcome of both good and bad daily habits over years, even decades.
Which really makes their approach to this daytime dental protection so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because with all the high-tech, cutting-edge tools they have at their disposal, the foundation they recommend for protecting your teeth during the day relies on this surprisingly low-tech, completely natural biological function.
It really does.
So our mission today is to uncover how the actual foods you chew and swallow can act as a natural defense system, fighting cavities and cleaning your teeth while you're actually eating them.
It's a profound shift in perspective, really.
Right.
Because we are so conditioned to think of food solely
Right.
as the enemy of dental health.
Right, like sugar is bad, candy is bad.
Exactly. The thing that leaves behind sugar causes plaque, accelerates decay. But we're looking at a physiological reality here where certain foods are actually your primary daytime defense mechanism.
Right, so to understand how a midday snack can actually clean our teeth, we first have to talk about the mouth's built-in defense system. And it all really comes down to saliva.
Saliva, yeah.
I was trying to picture how this works when I was looking over the sources, and the best analogy I could come up with is that saliva is, well, it's like a continuous river flowing through your mouth.
Oh, I like that.
Right, and its primary job is to just wash away the debris. You eat a meal, and the river flows through to sweep the leftover food particles off the banks.
That is a great visualization for the mechanical aspect of it. But the chemical reality is where the real protection happens.
Okay.
What's fascinating here is that we tend to think of saliva as just passive moisture, like it just makes things wet.
Right, exactly.
But biologically speaking, it is a highly active, complex buffering fluid.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so when you eat, the bacteria that are naturally present in your mouth, they immediately start breaking down the carbohydrates and the sugars from your food.
Because they're eating too.
Right, they are. And the byproduct of that bacterial feast is acid.
So the bacteria eat our leftovers, and their waste product is an acid that attacks the teeth.
That's it, exactly. And that acid is the primary enemy of tooth enamel. It causes this process called demineralization.
Demineralization, okay.
Yeah, where the acid essentially leaches the structural minerals right out of the tooth surface.
Oh, wow.
And if that goes on long enough, the enamel weakens and you get decay, you get cavities.
So where does the saliva come in chemically?
Right, so saliva is the body's countermeasure. It doesn't just physically wash the acid away, it actively neutralizes it. It brings the pH level in your mouth back up from a dangerous acidic state to a safe, neutral state.
So the ultimate goal of our midday routine isn't just like avoiding sugar. It's actively finding ways to stimulate that river of saliva to keep the pH levels balanced.
Yes. And the most effective way to turn on the tap, so to speak, is through the actual mechanics of chewing specific types of food.
Okay, so if keeping that river of saliva flowing is the goal, we have to look at what physical triggers open the floodgates.
Exactly.
And that comes down to our first category of foods, which function as mechanical scrubbers.
Scrubbers, yeah.
We are talking about raw, crunchy produce.
Mm.
The heavy hitters mentioned by Omni Dental are apples, carrots, and celery.
Right, the classics. And the mechanics of why these specific foods work are just brilliant in their simplicity.
How so?
Well, first, they're highly fibrous, which means they physically resist being broken down.
Right, they take some work.
Yeah, when you take a bite of a raw carrot or a celery stalk, it doesn't just melt in your mouth like a cracker would.
Right, crackers just turn to mush immediately.
Exactly, they turn into this sticky paste.
Okay.
But a carrot forces your jaw to work harder and for a much longer duration.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's doing two things at once, right? On one hand, you're chewing this tough, fibrous carrot, and the extended muscle action signals the salivary glands to flood the area, neutralizing all those acids we just talked about.
Right.
But on the other hand, the physical texture of the food itself is doing work. Eating a piece of raw celery is basically like taking a natural, bristly scrub brush and running it over your gums and the surface of your teeth while you chew.
That's a really good way to put it. The fibrous texture gently abrades the surface of the teeth. It physically dislodges plaque and bacteria that are trying to take hold along the gum line.
Wow.
And as the celery breaks down into those stringy fibers, you know how celery gets stringy?
Oh, yeah, you always get stuck in your teeth.
Right. But as it does that, it acts almost like a very thick, natural dental floss sweeping across the enamel. So it is this simultaneous mechanical cleaning and chemical neutralizing event.
Now, I have to push back here for a second, because
Yeah.
understanding this mechanism, it made me wonder about the limits of this natural scrub brush.
Sure.
If I'm really diligent, like, if I eat a bag of raw carrots and celery every single day, can I essentially skip the dentist? Like, will this natural scrubbing action get rid of tartar buildup so I don't need those professional deep cleanings?
It's a completely logical question based on the scrub brush analogy, but we have to draw a hard line there based on the biology of what is actually on your teeth.
Okay, so no skipping the dentist.
No, definitely not. Crunchy Toadoo's is a preventative tool, not a restorative one.
Meaning it stops the bad stuff from forming, but it can't fix it once it is settled in?
Exactly. We have to really differentiate between plaque and tartar here. Plaque is a soft, sticky film of bacteria.
Right.
Your natural celery scrub brush can disrupt that soft plaque very easily. But if plaque is left undisturbed on the teeth for too long, even just a matter of days, honestly, it calcifies.
It hardens.
Yeah, it absorbs minerals from your saliva and hardens into tartar, which dentists also call calculus.
So the tartar is essentially a rock-hard mineral deposit attached to the tooth?
Yes, it's like concrete. And once it becomes tartar, no amount of chewing on apples or carrots is going to remove it.
Because it's too hard.
Exactly. The fibrous sweep of a vegetable simply isn't strong enough to break that calcified bond.
Gotcha.
Only professional dental scaling tools, like the ones used during a clinical cleaning at a place like Omni Dental, can safely and completely remove existing tartar without damaging the enamel underneath.
So the natural scrub brush is great for daily maintenance,
Yes.
constantly disrupting the soft plaque so it never gets the chance to harden.
Right.
But you still need the heavy machinery and the professional expertise to clear away any buildup that manages to calcify.
Precisely. The raw foods prevent the tartar from forming in the first place by constantly interrupting the cycle, but they absolutely cannot replace clinical scaling.
That makes perfect sense. So crunchy foods give us that mechanical scrub and that rush of saliva. But how do we actually repair the chemical damage the acid might have already done?
Oh, right.
Because this brings us to a second category of foods in the source material that operates on a completely different, like, microscopic level.
Yeah, this is where it gets really cool.
We're moving from the physical scrubbing action to foods that act as chemical and mineral defenders.
Right.
And the list here includes cheese, yogurt, milk, spinach, kale, almonds, and cashews.
Yeah, this is where the intersection of daily diet and structural oral health becomes incredibly nuanced. We're moving beyond just washing things away.
And this is exactly where I had a major point of confusion when I was reading this.
Oh, really? What part?
We're learning that eating cheese actually cleans and protects your teeth.
Yeah.
But doesn't putting soft food in your mouth usually just feed the bacteria? Like, cheese certainly doesn't have that fibrous scrub brush texture of a raw carrot.
No, it doesn't.
So how is a slice of cheddar actively protecting my enamel?
Right, so if we connect this to the bigger picture of enamel structure,
Yeah.
it begins to make perfect sense.
Okay.
As we discussed earlier, enamel is essentially a tight matrix of minerals.
Right. The wall.
Exactly. When those bacterial acids attack the tooth, they strip calcium and phosphates away from that matrix, weakening the wall. What dairy products, like cheese, yogurt, and milk, what they provide is an immediate, localized infusion of exactly those missing minerals.
Oh, wow. So they provide the building blocks of the teeth themselves right when the teeth need them most.
Exactly. These foods do not just neutralize the acid through saliva stimulation. I mean, they do that too.
Right.
But they actually bathe the teeth in the raw materials necessary to remineralize and strengthen the tooth enamel right there on the spot.
That is wild.
It is essentially structural reinforcement delivered directly via your lunch. The calcium and phosphate ions from the dairy actually bond with the enamel surface.
Like patching a hole.
Yeah, repairing the microscopic damage before it can turn into a visible cavity.
That is incredible. And the mechanism goes even further than just rebuilding the wall, right?
It does, yeah.
Because foods like cheese, yogurt, and almonds actively fight the cavity-causing bacteria themselves.
Yes. The specific proteins found in dairy, particularly a protein called casein.
Casein, okay.
Yeah, it's highly protective. Casein helps form a protective film over the surface of the teeth, which physically blocks the acid from reaching the enamel in the first place.
Oh, so it's like a shield.
Exactly like a
Yeah.
shield. And furthermore, you mentioned almonds.
Yeah.
Almonds are fantastic because they are extremely low in sugar, so they don't provide any fuel for the bacteria.
Right.
But they still require significant chewing effort, which again stimulates our baseline defense, the saliva river.
It's all connected. Okay, so how do the leafy greens factor into this chemical defense? You know, the spinach and the kale.
Oh, leafy greens are nutrient powerhouses for the entire oral environment.
Okay.
They provide essential minerals that keep the teeth strong, obviously, but they also bring a lot of folic acid to the table.
Folic acid.
Right. Folic acid is a type of B vitamin that is crucial for promoting healthy cell growth throughout the body, and it is particularly known to support the health of the gum tissue, helping to ward off inflammation.
So it's protecting the gums while the other stuff protects the teeth.
Exactly.
So if we translate this into a practical application for someone listening right now,
Sure.
say you're, I don't know, packing your midday snack for work.
Yeah.
If you pair a handful of baby carrots with a few cubes of cheddar cheese, or maybe slice an apple and eat it with a handful of almonds, you're basically deploying a highly sophisticated dual-action defense system.
That is exactly what you're doing. It's the ultimate strategic snack.
Because you get the mechanical scrubbing and massive saliva boost from the crunchy vegetable,
Yep.
combined with the chemical bacteria fighting and mineral reinforcing properties of the dairy or the nuts.
Exactly. You are actively cleaning, neutralizing, and fortifying your mouth all at the same time, using just the natural properties of the food itself.
That is so cool. But knowing what to eat is only half the battle, right?
Right.
Because according to the deep dive sources, there's actually a specific methodology for how and when to eat these foods to get the maximum protective benefit.
Yes, there is.
Dentists often refer to a highly structured framework for this, and the guidance we're looking at from Omni Dental calls it the 3-3-3 rule.
The 3-3-3 rule is a brilliant way to operationalize this biological knowledge into a daily habit. It takes the guesswork completely out of daytime oral hygiene.
Okay, so here's the exact formula for our listeners.
Yeah.
Eat foods that naturally clean your teeth 3 times daily.
Right.
Do it after 3 major meals.
Yep.
And chew them for 3 minutes minimum.
And the structural elegance of this rule lies entirely in its timing. Let's break down what is actually happening in the mouth during those 3 minutes and why dentists recommend this specific rhythm.
Please do, because honestly, actively chewing on an almond or a piece of celery for 3 full minutes sounds like a really long time when you actually stop and think about it.
It is a long time. It is a deliberate effort, for sure. But that duration is absolutely critical to the chemical process we discussed earlier.
Okay.
When you sit down and eat a standard meal, say a sandwich, some chips, and a beverage.
Sounds like a normal lunch.
Right. The bacteria in your mouth immediately start producing acid. Within just a few minutes of taking your first bite, the environment in your mouth drops from a neutral pH to a highly acidic, dangerous pH.
And if you just finish that meal and go right back to your desk or hop in your car, what happens?
That acid just sits right on your teeth. Yeah. It can take the mouth naturally, anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, to slowly build up enough saliva to wash that acid away and bring the pH back to normal.
20 to 40 minutes.
Yes. And during that entire 30 or 40-minute window, your enamel is actively being demineralized and weakened.
Oh, wow. But the 3-3-3 rule is designed to purposefully interrupt that destructive window.
Exactly. By strategically eating these protective, crunchy, or mineral-rich foods immediately after your 3 major meals, you're deploying a rapid countermeasure exactly when your teeth are most vulnerable.
Right.
By choosing a food that requires heavy, extended chewing, like a carrot, and consciously chewing it for a minimum of 3 full minutes, you forcefully stimulate the salivary glands to flood the mouth.
You're compressing that 40-minute danger zone down to just 3 minutes of active recovery?
You've got it. You are rapidly returning your mouth to a neutral, safe pH level, rather than letting your teeth just sit in a destructive acidic bath.
That is so smart.
It ensures continuous protection throughout the day. And, the 3 minutes of mechanical chewing also maintains strong gum tissue through that regular physical stimulation.
So what does this all mean for our daily routine? It means intentionality.
Yes, absolutely.
It means realizing that a meal isn't just about finishing the calories on your plate. It's about the sequence of what you put in your mouth.
Right.
If you intentionally save the crunchy apple slice for the very end of your lunch, or you end your dinner with a piece of hard cheese and 3 minutes of deliberate chewing, you are purposefully neutralizing the acid from the rest of the meal.
It is a simple behavioral shift, but the compounded biological effect over a lifetime of meals is just massive.
I can imagine.
However, it is vital that we frame this exactly the way professional dental providers do.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, this strategic eating, the 3-3-3 rule, drinking plenty of water throughout the day, perhaps chewing some sugar-free gum to keep the saliva flowing, these are all incredible daily habits. But they are partners to professional care, not replacements for it.
Right. The natural daytime defenses work alongside your morning and evening routines. You still have to mechanically remove the soft plaque with a toothbrush twice a day.
Yes.
You still have to floss to get between the tight spaces of the teeth where the celery scrub brush simply cannot reach.
And as we established with the tartar and calculus discussion earlier, you still need professional oversight. Maintaining true, long-term oral health requires both dietary intentionality at home and consistent professional dental care in the clinic.
Which brings us full circle back to our source.
It does.
The guidance from Omni Dental really emphasizes that early detection, regular clinical cleanings, and advanced preventative care are what keep the whole biological system running smoothly.
Exactly.
You do the daily work with your diet, your toothbrush, and your floss, and they do the clinical work with their advanced technology and diagnostic expertise.
It's a synergistic relationship. The functional foods reinforce your daily habits, and the dentist ensures those habits are actually working.
Right.
They're addressing any underlying issues or areas the natural defenses just cannot reach.
So just to quickly recap this incredible journey we've taken through the biology of the mouth today.
Yeah, let's do it.
We started with the realization that saliva is not just moisture, but a continuous, active river of defense against cavity-causing acids and demineralization.
Right.
We learned that we can turn on that river by eating natural scrub brushes, crunchy, fibrous produce like apples, carrots, and celery that physically sweep the teeth and force the jaw to work.
We then added chemical enamel armor to our diet by utilizing the calcium, phosphates, and bacteria-fighting proteins found in dairy, nuts, and leafy greens.
And finally, we learned how to deploy this defense strategically using the 3-3-3 rule 3 times a day, immediately after 3 major meals, for a minimum of 3 minutes to rapidly neutralize the acid attack.
Yep.
It really empowers you. You have tools at your disposal right now sitting in your refrigerator to protect your health.
It's empowering. And as a quick reminder to our listeners, if you happen to be in the Arlington Heights area or any of those surrounding northwest suburban communities we mentioned earlier.
Right. Buffalo Grove, Schaumburg, all those.
Yeah, all of those. If you want to combine these natural food strategies with expert preventive care, Dr. Billis Poles and the team at Omni Dental are the professionals to see.
Absolutely.
You can find all their information and learn more about their comprehensive advanced aesthetic services by visiting their practice. They really understand how to balance cutting-edge clinical technology with natural, patient-centered daily habits.
It has been such an eye-opening look at how our bodies are designed to interact with our food.
It has. This raises an important question, though, something I've been considering as we talk through this entire biological mechanism of chewing and saliva production.
Oh, I love where this might be going. Lay on me.
If the baseline requirement, like the physiological mechanism, nature designed to keep our teeth clean, our gums stimulated, and our saliva flowing, if that requirement is hard, vigorous chewing on raw, crunchy, fibrous foods multiple times a day.
Right, the 3-3-3 rule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How much of our modern, ultra-processed diet is secretly bypassing our mouth's natural defense system entirely?
Oh.
Think about the foods most people consume today. Soft breads, protein shakes, fast food burgers, tenderized meats, pastries.
They barely require chewing.
Right. They dissolve in the mouth almost instantly. They require almost zero mechanical effort from the jaw.
Yeah.
Are we losing our natural biological protection against decay simply because our modern food has become far too easy to eat?
That is a profound shift in how we think about a modern diet.
Isn't it?
If we don't have to physically work for our food, our mouth doesn't do the necessary work to protect itself.
Exactly.
We are essentially short-circuiting our own evolutionary defense system just for the sake of convenience.
Yeah, it's something to think about next time you grab a smoothie.
That is a fascinating thought to leave on. Look at your next meal and ask yourself, is this food making my jaw work and stimulating my natural defenses? Or is it just melting away and leaving the acid behind?
Right.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden world of natural dental defense. We hope it gives you a fresh perspective on your midday snacks. Keep learning, keep chewing, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.